Support WrestleTalk!
Click the thumbs up.
Brock Lesnar wins the Universal Championship, Kane's mask falls off, and Shane McMahon is officially the best wrestler in the world. I can't confirm, but I'm pretty sure this wasn't a fever dream. I am Luke Owen. Press the thumbs up and vote in the poll above my head to give your thoughts on the show, where you can choose from best of both worlds, great per view, thumbs in the middle, meh per view, and the worst of both worlds, while I review the global pay-per-view events known as Crown Jewel with the World Cup to determine the best in the world. Thank God this is all over in about 4 minutes. While Rusev vs Shinsuke Nakamura was the pre-show's opening match, the question on everyone's lips was, what will Renee Young wear in such a socially conservative country? Turns out, everything. Even her sexy palms were half covered. The two had a pretty decent match, which Nakamura won after an inventive, accidental low blow to Rusev's Bulgarian brutes. Lana, get in there and help! Oh, that's right, yeah, you're not allowed there. The show opened with perhaps the most controversial return of the whole evening. Pyro is back in WWE! Oh, and reinstated WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan made his on-screen return for the first time since his racism scandal broke 3.5 years ago. It was both a smart and dumb move at the same time. Dumb because it makes an already controversial show even more so, but smart because this is the one and only audience who would give him a genuine pop, not being as familiar with the scandal as those back in the United States are. A far more welcome return was the one-night tournament format, and it got off to a hot start with Rey Mysterio beating Randy Orton in a fun opener. However, if I asked you to imagine a Miz vs Jeff Hardy match in your head, then you probably would have guessed this one move for move. They had a match and Miz won it. Seth Rollins defeated Bobby Lashley in a match that didn't go very long, presumably due to Lashley's reported injury. And Dolph Ziggler surprisingly pinned Kurt Angle in a very bland match. No, you didn't mishear me. Dolph Ziggler beat Kurt Angle. New Day came down to the ring on a magic carpet because they clearly wanted to see a whole new progressive world in an entrance that The Undertaker would call excessively long. And then they lost their tag team championship match against The Bar due to Big Show interference. There was a couple of really good near falls in the semi-finals between Rey Mysterio and The Miz, which the A-lister won after getting the knees up on a Rey Frog Splash. And Dolph Ziggler vs Seth Rollins was 85% sleeper hold and 15% amazing series of near falls. At the start of this, I really wasn't into the idea of watching these two have yet another match in 2018, but it turned out to be the best match of the tournament. Eventually, Dolph picked the surprise win to set up a heel versus heel final. This tournament is weird. Likewise, I wasn't into the idea of watching yet another WWE Championship match between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, their 4th since SummerSlam. And sadly, it was probably the weakest of the series too, with AJ winning after the phenomenal forearm in a boring match. There is literally nothing else to say about it. Which is the total opposite of the match to determine the winner of Vacant's Universal Championship, where Brock Lesnar pinned Braun Strowman after 5 F5s. Yes, you heard that right. Brock Lesnar is once again your Universal Champion. The man we all thought was heading to UFC after WrestleMania, were sure was heading back to UFC after SummerSlam, is now a 2-time Universal Champion. It was the weirdest, oddest thing. Corbin hit Braun with the championship belt, and Lesnar hit multiple F5s for the win, with Braun only getting in 1 kick. Regardless of the finish, this really hurts Braun Strowman. He's now lost to Brock Lesnar 3 times, and has lost 5 Universal Championship matches. This has been such a weird show. Can't imagine anything weird happening in the finals of the World Cup, which was won by Shane McMahon. Wait, what? So before the match started, Miz went down with an injury and Shane McMahon, of all people, took his place, and then he won! This guy won the Best in the World tournament! Shane McMahon is the best wrestler in the world! Vince McMahon's WWE booked a tournament to determine the best wrestler in the whole wide world, which was won by the son of Vince McMahon! It's the most Vince McMahon thing I've ever seen! Oh yeah, and then Shawn Michaels had his first wrestling match in 8.5 years. Sorry, 9.5 years. Undertaker has just finished his entrance. Am I hallucinating? Am I making this all up? It's a real shame too that HBK's return to the ring has been overshadowed by the controversial nature of Crown Jewel, not to mention the show being opened by Hulk Hogan, Brock Lesnar winning the Universal Championship, and Shane McMahon becoming the best in the world. The match itself was pretty much what you imagined, and while it was a spectacle to see these 4 legends tussling for the first time ever in a tag team match, the wind was knocked out of the sails as Triple H's pec was seemingly knocked out of its correct place. Hunter was visibly struggling towards the end of the match, almost as much as Kane struggled to keep his mask on at one point. In the end, Kane ate a sweet chin music and a horrible looking pedigree for a DX win. Full credit to Triple H for continuing to work the match, but the whole thing did feel somewhat sad. In many ways, Crown Jewel was like this year's WrestleMania. It wasn't a great show, but there were a lot of moments that made you say out loud, what the heckins is going on? Honestly, I've still not fully processed what I just watched. Hogan made his WWE return. Brock Lesnar squashed Braun Strowman to win the Universal Championship. Shane McMahon is the best wrestler in the world. This feels more like Universe mode on a WWE video game has gone mad. What a weird show. It was so weird, I don't even really know what to score it. Mer per view, I guess? Seems a bit harsh, but I guess that's what I'll go with. Find out the real reason Daniel Bryan pulled out of WWE Crown Jewel in today's Mecca News! And make sure you get your tickets to see WrestleTalk live in London in a couple of weeks. I've been Luke Owen, and that was a really weird wrestling show.